Now I'm going to take you through the process of creating a top-down assembly. Oftentimes in the design process, you go through and design several components of an assembly in one part file, like we have here. You'll notice all of the features are associated to all of these parts. Once I have my parts designed, I need to push them out into their own separate components. If I look at my assembly navigator, you'll notice I have no separate components. So for this, what I'm going to do is select on New Component, and I'm going to select the base. We're going to leave everything alone in the window, and we want to make sure that Delete Original Objects is turned on. This is going to remove all of the features associated to this base in the Arbor Press file and move everything to the new file we are creating. I'm going to select OK, and just like that we have our model. If I right mouse click on this and open this in its own separate window, there is our base. If I go through and hit Control S to save this, it takes me to the name parts. I navigate to the folder that I want it to go into, and I'm going to type in the name. Select OK. Now the base has been saved. Let me close this. And notice the Arbor Press is modified. The base is now here, and the features for the base have been removed. So I need to save my Arbor Press. Now that the Arbor Press is saved, all of those changes have been recorded, and I can continue moving my data into their own separate components. So we'll go New Component. I'll go to the plate. Say New Component. Go to that arm. And if I hit Control S to do a save, you'll notice that it takes me back to my name parts. Well, we know this is the plate, and we know this is the arm. I'm going to select OK. So my plate, base, and arm are all now saved in my Arbor Press. If I look at my part navigator, again, those features have been deleted. So now I'm going to go through and finish this off. Now that we have all of the components placed into their own separate files, I want you to notice several things. First, some of the components, like this bolt, and this machine bolt, and this nut, are instanced components. So I did not take and make 4 separate copies of these. I made one and simply removed the others so I can go in and position these components properly. The next thing is, when I look at my part navigator, you'll notice that pretty much all of the features have been migrated over to the correct files that they're needed in. Oftentimes there's going to be some redundant features or features that are no longer needed, as you see here, that can be deleted. Again, these are at the assembly level. If you need them for some reason, keep them, but if not, clean them up. So select them and delete them. And the last thing to take note is that these components are in space. They were designed in the correct spatial location, but they are not constrained. So they are free to float around. So you're going to want to go through and constrain these to make sure that if you have to actuate the assembly or do something, that the components remain in the correct position. So we'll go through assembly constraints. We'll do a fix on the base and apply that. Now notice if I come in here and grab that plate, it moves, okay, because it is not constrained. So you're going to want to go through and constrain all of these to make sure that they are not only in the correct position, but once again, if something moves, everything moves appropriately and accordingly. So I'll let you go through and constrain all of your components. And to show the final assembly, I want you to notice that I have my bolt in here 4 times, so I have 4 separate instances. There's my machine bolt and the nut that is associated to that, as well as all of my constraints. And that is my completed assembly.